Hello everyone, I'm Tamara and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to focus on dependent personality disorder and we're going to talk about bosses who have this disorder. And I have some very strong opinions about this and some of you may not like it. But first, in case you don't understand what dependent personality disorder is, it is when someone is over-dependent on other people when it comes to making decisions. They cannot make a decision on their own as they need constant approval from other people. Consequently, individuals diagnosed with DPD tend to place needs and opinions of others above their own as they do not have the confidence to trust their own decisions. These individuals display a fear of separation and cannot stand being alone. When alone, they experience feelings of isolation and loneliness due to their overwhelming dependence on other people. So basically, these people are going to be sensitive to criticism and fear rejection as well. But it's way more intense than that, because anytime you read about or hear about a personality disorder, everyone can find something in it that they can relate to. We all fear rejection at times. We all want someone else's opinion sometimes. Even if it's your area of expertise, you just want some feedback, or sometimes your frame of mind is just not right, or you just want someone else's opinion before you make your final decision. I think all of that is normal and it's okay. You can not have a personality disorder and have difficulty making decisions. So it's more than that. It's more than the words. You almost need to experience the disorder to say, that's what it is. So when you're with someone or you know someone who has dependent personality disorder and they pick you, there's going to be a big burden there. And so I have a huge problem with someone becoming a boss who has dependent personality disorder, because they're not gonna trust themselves to get anything done, and they're gonna pick someone, and the person that they pick is gonna be responsible not only for their own job, but they're gonna be responsible for that boss's job as well. And not only that, when you're a boss, you have power. And I've seen this happen so many times, it's ridiculous. These people with personality disorders, they become bosses to compensate for the disorder, because when they're not the bosses, they still have to figure out how to get things done. But if you're in control, now you have power. So now you can make people do things for you out of your insecurity so that you can make a living and pay your bills. I have deep compassion for anyone who has dependent personality disorder, but I also have deep compassion for the people that they choose to leech on, and then that person can't get their job done. I remember years ago working with a lady who I believe had this disorder, and she couldn't do anything without me. It got to the point where it was like, what is the point of her position? Because she can't do any of it without me. I have to help her with every single thing. And it's just irritating. One day the boss screamed at her, and I had never said anything to the boss because he gave her a task to do, and she immediately turned to me like, when are we gonna do this? And he said, I didn't ask her to do it. I told you to do it. So it was like, oh my gosh, anything she had to do, I was gonna have to step in and help her do it. And that is super draining. And we're not talking about somebody who's new to a job, who hasn't had training, and they just don't know what to do yet. We're not talking about somebody who is in the field of accountants, of being an accountant, and they're terrible with numbers. They're better at reading. So they just don't get it. They don't fit in. Something's not clicking. There can be times in your life when you're doing something and you're just not getting it. That is not dependent personality disorder. They could also drive a boss crazy, because if they're not the boss and they are just your regular average worker and there's something that they have to do every day that is quite simple, quite routine. Step 1, step 2, step 3, enter in the attendance. Something super simple that they've done 100 times. They may call the boss and say, how do I do this? Or can you help me with it? Or can you walk me through the steps? Or just the simplest basic thing, which this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but this is what it feels like. I have 2 sharpened pencils. Which one of them is more sharpened than the other? So which one should I use, this one or this one? I mean, it will be things like that. I need you here all the time. I'm going to call you 18 times a day. I'm going to waste your time. I'm going to be asking you to help me with things that I've already done a million times before. So why don't you know how to do this? It's like they have to have a crutch. It's that intense. Or let's go back to the boss. The boss is like, oh, this is my favorite person. They're going to do everything for me. Hey, can you do this task for me? Hey, I need you to pick up these things. Hey, I need you to go down this list and be the it person for that. So they've got this one person that they are depending on for everything. I've heard of situations where a boss was surrounded by several bosses, and those bosses said, we're going to put you in a corner by yourself somewhere away from all of us, and you do whatever you do. We're doing whatever we do, or there are people yelling at them, I'm not doing that for you, you do it. And that sounds really cruel, but it's also cruel for the people that have to deal with that every day. And I'm thinking of a particular situation where someone finally told the person no because they had spent years like jumping over hoops, doing everything that this person is telling them to do. They walk in the door and it's, hey, I know who can do all of this. You can. Favorite person. And the favorite person walked away, didn't say anything, didn't respond. The person with dependent personality disorder was furious at that person, stopped speaking to them, looked at them very angry, like, you are the worst person in the world. Well, this person has been doing your job for you for years. And the one time that they say no after you've taken advantage of them, you're furious at them? That's pretty nervy. So what is the solution to this? Because I'm not claiming to have a solution for situations like this, but I do think they need to vet people better when it comes to certain positions and finding out, is there a psychological disorder at play? Because these people with psychological disorders can wreak havoc and cause a lot of psychological damage to the people that are around them, and that's not okay either. It's like when someone has a personality disorder, everyone around them suffers too, and that's not the person's burden who's also working to make a living. That is not fair. That's not what they signed up for. So what solutions do you have? Do you think that it's too harsh to think this way, that you should just lend a helping hand? I think if that's the case, if they've been diagnosed with the disability, then maybe you can bring in an assistant or someone that can be paid money to assist this person. But let's face it, most people don't even know that this person has a personality disorder. They just know that they feel internally confused. But if they haven't actually been diagnosed, then it's not fair to everyone around them. I'm sorry. It's too much. And that's just where I'm at with it. So give me your feedback. If you ever worked with someone who has dependent personality disorder, what was it like? And how did you handle it? And check out my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST by Tamara Hunter Zyon. It's on Amazon. That book will help you tremendously if you have a narcissist of any capacity in your life. Until next time, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.